Did you know that Mercedes, BMW, Ford, Volkswagen and basically every major car manufacturer on the planet doesn't actually build most of the parts in their own cars? Seriously, the original Mercedes part you pay a premium for at the dealership, there's a really big chance Mercedes never built it, most probably a supplier did. Mercedes just slapped their logo on the box and marked up the price. That's not a conspiracy, and it's not a secret scam, it's simply how the modern automotive industry works. Modern vehicles are incredibly complex. A typical car can contain about 30,000 individual parts. Yet most automakers do not manufacture all of these components themselves. Instead, vehicle manufacturers act like assemblers, bolting together thousands of parts produced by specialist companies called original equipment manufacturers, or simply OEMs. So why did the car industry evolve this way? If you grew up thinking that BMW builds everything in a BMW or Mercedes engineers every nut and bolt in a Mercedes, you're definitely not alone. And the reason for this is because modern vehicles are insanely complex. That number of parts in a modern car is so massive that no single automaker could possibly produce them all. So instead of being manufacturers, car brands slowly transformed into marketing machines. They began sourcing parts from companies whose entire existence is to perfect one specific thing, whether that's brakes, transmissions, sensors or ECUs. This was a necessary evolution. If we look back 100 years ago when cars were a lot simpler, companies like Ford actually did build nearly everything themselves. They controlled everything, the steel mills, the glass factories and even the rubber for their tires. They were so obsessed of controlling everything that Ford actually built a whole city in a rainforest to farm rubber, called Fordlandia, which turned out to be a really expensive fail. That's how bad they didn't want to source parts from other companies back then. But as technology evolved and cars became more advanced, electronics took over. Fuel injectors replaced carburetors, ABS, airbags, ECUs and complex transmissions became standard. Consumer expectations for comfort and tech kept rising, and suddenly, building everything in-house was no longer possible. The cost of research and development exploded. Manufacturing required new factories, new materials, specialists, software and robotics. The technological race was moving too fast for automakers to handle every discipline themselves. So rather than trying to reinvent every wheel, automakers realized that it made more sense to rely on companies who specialized on one category. These specialized suppliers could refine, perfect and mass-produce their components at a quality and scale that automakers themselves could never match. Car brands can focus on designing the vehicle, engineering the chassis and drivetrain, tuning the suspension, integrating all the systems and assembling the final product. Meanwhile, the suppliers will build the brains, muscle, nerves and organs that make the modern car work. Same thing goes for smartphones, PCs and airplanes. Cars simply follow the same logic, and this shift is the reason why modern vehicles are as advanced, safe and reliable as they are today. Now that we've laid down the groundwork for why the industry evolved this way, it's time to pull back the curtain and meet the companies that quietly build the modern automotive world.